So now we have come to the next topic of the human reproductive system, that's the structure and functioning of the male reproductive system. When we talk about the male reproductive system, the two main functions of the male reproductive system is the production of the gametes, and we say gametes are the sex cells or the sperms, while another function of the human male reproductive system is the transfer of these gametes to the site of fertilization. When we talk about the gametes, the sperms, these are produced from the primary sex organs known as testes. Testes are two in number and are placed in a muscular pouch known as scrotum. Why it is placed in the muscular pouch we will be studying when we will come to the structure of the reproductive system, and we will study through the diagram. Okay, so testes have a dual role. They produce the sex cells, these are the gametes, the sperms, as well as they also produce the male hormone known as testosterone. This testosterone is responsible for the production of the secondary sexual characters in males. So what happens after puberty in a male, which differentiates a male from a female, that is when we talk about the appearance of the facial hair and mustache, the beard, it's all because of the male hormone testosterone. At the same time, the function of the male reproductive organ is the transfer of these gametes to the site of fertilization. And this site of fertilization, the kind of fertilization which takes place in the human beings is the internal fertilization. That means the male copulatory organ lays the sperm inside the female genital tract, and the organs which are involved in the sexual act or the copulation are known as the copulatory organ. The male copulatory organ is the penis, while in the female copulatory organ is the vagina or the genital tract, that's also known as the birth canal. So how it is being transferred? These are produced in the testes. From the testes, the vas deferens collects the sperms and unites with the urethra, which comes from the urinary bladder, and then with the help of the copulatory organ, that's the penis, it's given to the site of fertilization, that's the vagina in the females. So these are the major functions of the male reproductive system. Just now I said the reproductive system is different in case of the male and the female. The basic difference in the reproductive system of the male and female is that in case of males, the reproductive system is placed outside the abdominal sac. That means it's placed externally, while in case of females, it is placed inside the human body. Again, there must be a reason for this, and we will come to know after we study this reproductive system structure. So here the diagram of the human male reproductive system. As you can see, it's placed outside. This is the body, so it's placed outside the abdominal sac. It's placed outside. It's a transverse section, so we are able to see only one testes. Otherwise, these are two testes. So testes is the primary sex organ. Why we say testes are the primary sex organs? Because this is involved directly in the production of the sex cells, the sperms, as well as the male sex hormone. So from testes what happens? The sperms are being produced, and these sperms are now carried by the vas deferens. Okay, this coiled structure, highly coiled structure, is known as epididymis. This is before the vas deferens. Vas deferens, the common name is the sperm duct, as it collects the sperms from the testes. Now what happens? This vas deferens then take these sperms and unites with the urethra coming from the urinary bladder. So when it unites with the urethra coming out from the urinary bladder, there are three accessory glands in the pathway. These accessory glands I have named here. So these are the prostate gland, the seminal vesicle, and the bulbourethral glands. So what's the importance of all these accessory glands in case of human male reproductive system? So what is actually ejaculated out in case of human male is not only the sperms, but it's a fluid. When we talk about the fluid, that means only the sperms would not be given out. There must be some liquid secretion this liquid secretion is actually the contribution of all these 3 accessory glands. When you talk about this, you must be thinking now, why there is a need of this fluid secretion? There is a need because these sperms need to travel a very large distance from the copulatory organ of males to the female copulatory organ and to the site of fertilization. The site of fertilization is not the vagina, that's just the copulatory organ. The site of fertilization is the oviduct of the females. So that means during that travel, this complete travel, the sperms need energy as well as they need a medium to travel. That's why the fluid is important. So now we understood why accessory glands are important and what's the function of the accessory glands. The function of the accessory glands is to secrete a fluid which will help the sperms to travel a long distance and will provide nutrition to it. Okay, so while the sperms travel through this urethra, the secretions of all these accessory glands are added into it, and when this comes through this urethra, now is actually known as semen, not sperms. So semen is made up of sperms and the secretions of the accessory glands. This urethra now opens into a copulatory organ, the external organ which is responsible for laying the sperms inside the female genital tract, that's the vagina. This is known as penis and the urethra runs in this. The end of this penis is swollen and is known as glans penis. It's covered by a foreskin, and in certain religions this foreskin is being removed due to some religious beliefs. If you will observe, in case of males there is a single opening for the ejaculation of the semen as well as for giving out urine. So there must be a confusion in the mind that how will the body control that this is a time to give out the urine and or this is a time to give out the sperms or the semen. Again, that is being connected to the mind, and there is a sphincter here. There is a sphincter here. So when the semen is being secreted, the urinal sphincter, it closes the urinary bladder and the urine cannot come out, only the semen will be ejaculated, and when the urine needs to pass out, then the semen will not be ejaculated. It's as simple as that. Again, if we talk about the difference in the male and the female reproductive system, as I told before, that is placed outside the abdominal sac. Why it is so? The first reason is, in case of males, the male need to lay the sperms in the female genital tract. That means the organs need to be placed outside the male body, otherwise how it will lay inside the female body. That's why you need to have an organ, copulatory organ, that is outside the body. So that's the reason why penis is outside. Then again, okay fine, the penis is outside because it's a copulatory organ and has to lay the sperms in the vagina. But why the testes are outside? Testes needs to be placed outside into a muscular bag, the scrotum, to maintain a temperature of 2 degrees less than the body temperature. And that's very important because usually the body temperature fluctuates 1 or 2 degrees when you do a lot of exercise or when we sit at a cool place. Under these circumstances, the sperms are no more viable. For the production of the sperms and for the viability, a 2 degree less temperature is needed, less than the body temperature, and this is maintained by the scrotum, the muscular bag which holds both the testes together outside the human body. So these testes are not permanently present inside the scrotum. What happens when a male child, the male fetus is there inside the mother, then these are actually inside the body, but during the birth these testes descend inside the scrotum. In many of cases we have heard that the males are born without the testes being descended into the scrotum, or it may happen one of the testes are descended and one remains inside the human body. In such cases the operations are being conducted and the testes are placed in the scrotum. Okay. So again, a major difference between the human male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. In case of human male, a human male is capable of giving out 10 million sperms in a single ejaculation, and that too n number of ejaculations in a single day. To add on, the male produces sperms throughout their lifetime. So you will be astonished, you will be surprised by 10 million sperms. And there is a question again, if a male instead of producing 10 million sperms is able to produce only 5 million sperms, would he be able to produce a child? No, I would say no. Then the chances will decrease. That's the reason many a times the couples are not able to produce a child. They are not able to give birth to a child. They are not able to conceive. Why? Because the sperm count has decreased. These number of sperms are necessary to ensure that the fertilization will take place and it will result in pregnancy. The lesser the number of the sperms, the pregnancy chances will be, the chances of fertilization will be decreased. And when I say the number of ejaculations in a day, it's all because so as to increase the chances of fertilization during the fertile period in the human female. Till death, till the last breath, a male is able to ejaculate sperms. So that's the basic difference between the human male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. The functioning of the female reproductive system we will study in the next video.